Hello and welcome to the Mindful Dose podcast. You're listening to Adriana, and today's episode is an informative one about vision board making, manifesting meditation, and the astrology of 2026. All of this ties in together to be a beautiful, intentional manifesting experience. So let's start off with a pen and a notebook, or your notebook on your laptop, however way you feel comfortable taking notes, because we're going to talk about the 2026 astrology. So this episode is perfect for anyone tuning in just before the new year, or even in the early months, especially January and February of 2026. The astrology new year really starts in March at the end, when we go into Aries season. Aries is the very first zodiac sign of all 12. So that's the astrology new year. But I think that at any point from here until December of 2026 would be a great time to watch this and just be open to manifesting and setting an intention to make your dreams come true. So 2026 has a major energetic shift. 2025 in numerology was the number 9, and in numerology number 9 is the ending. So we're going from a 9-year to a 1-year, and that is the exact theme of the astrology transition from 2025 to 2026. In 2025 we have had a sneak peek to what's to come in 2026. And that is these outer planets, these slower moving planets that we normally don't see go through all the zodiac signs in our lifetime because they move so slow. 3 of them are moving into a new sign. 1 is already there. 3 of them are moving into a new sign at the same time. Neither one of these have the same transit around the sun. Some take longer, like for example Uranus, we might make a full cycle through the 12 zodiac signs because it takes 84 years. So we have met people who are older than 84, and it's possible that you may have a Uranus return in your lifetime. But beyond Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, we won't witness those make a return in our lifetime because they move so much slower. Now, Pluto is already at the beginning of Aquarius. It has left Capricorn. So it's at the beginning of Aquarius. Uranus will be exiting Taurus, where it has been for the last 7 years, since 2018, 2019. It is exiting Taurus and moving into the air sign of Gemini. So Pluto's in the air sign of Aquarius. Uranus is moving into the air sign of Gemini. Saturn, well, I'll talk about Saturn after this, but Neptune, kind of a big deal. Neptune was in Pisces for the last 14 years. Now, for me personally, I can really mark my life from that transit, from 2011 to 2025. And that Neptune, that dreaminess, really sparked a lot in me in 2011. And I can see that journey wrapping up now to now enter into a fire sign, Aries, at the top of the zodiac sign. So Neptune is leaving its home sign of Pisces and moving into Aries next year. So that's 3 planets. Pluto, transformation. Uranus, revolution. And Neptune, dreams. They are all moving into the very beginning of a new sign, of a new element. So we're going from earth and water and moving into air and fire. Air and fire work together well as elements. So we have this continuous momentum of elements supporting each other. I'm going to move down now into the societal planet, Saturn. Saturn is moving from Pisces, where it has been since 2023, and will be moving into Aries for the next 2.5 to 3 years. Saturn returns happen once, twice, maybe 3 times in our lifetime. Typically, the first one happens between the ages of 27 and 30. That is usually what I like to refer to as hitting astrological puberty. You really grow up during the Saturn return. So I myself am wrapping up my Pisces Saturn return, thank goodness. And we're moving now into Saturn in Aries. So there is a shift happening on a collective level with those outer planets moving into new signs, and that will be years and years and years in each of those zodiac signs. The Saturn in Aries will be for a couple of years, so it's going to activate our Aries chart, which is going to be interesting because Neptune will now be existing with Saturn in the sign of Aries. It existed briefly together with the sign of Pisces, which was pretty neat, I would say. But now Neptune and Saturn in this fire element of action and self-awareness and identity. It's going to be very interesting how we change from that release and letting go Pisces nature and move into I'm back up on my feet, I'm ready to go, I'm done crying about it, I'm here to do something about it. So that leads me into now the vision board. Before we actually talk about the vision board, I want to talk to you about a style of meditation that I think it's in my top 3 favorite styles of meditation, manifesting meditation. And the reason why it's my favorite, one of my top 3 favorites, is because it's the most intimate practice of them all. I'm an Aries rising, so I'm already like, I want this, I want that for myself. I want to create this, I want to create that. I have a Leo moon too, so I have a little bit of fire in my big 3, where activity and activation is really important to me. We all have Aries in our chart, so we all have that feeling in a different part of our lives. And manifesting meditation, I feel, nurtures and supports that feeling of wanting to attract what you want and experience what you want. Manifesting meditation is also, for me personally, an intimate experience with the universe. It's a relationship between you and the universe, and it's very special. Because you don't just, I want to manifest this, you do that, and then you do your part through action, and it comes forward in response with the universe. It comes forward with signs, meaningful coincidences, and I love that feeling of like, oh my God, I can't believe that just happened. And most of the time, it's only like I'm the witness, and I can share it with the world, but like the meaning of it, like I can feel it in my bones, I can feel it in my heart, how meaningful that coincidence was and how much it supports my knowing that the universe has my back, or that I'm on the right path to get what I want, what I set myself out to achieve. So manifesting meditation is about supporting that relationship with the universe, and being intentional with what you want to manifest, I feel, makes that even more exciting. It brings me to joy to have a formal, proper sitting and just like, I am going to manifest this. It's just really exciting. So I'm excited to share that with you. I think with vision boarding, it works out perfectly, because with vision boarding, we are carving out what we want to manifest. We are carving out that intention, and we're being super specific about it. I like to relate it to having a genie in the bottle and wanting to be very specific about the wish, because if we're too vague, it leaves room for interpretation, or an unclear element comes forward and it's not exactly what we wanted. So with meditation practice, like with all meditation, we begin by settling in. We clear our mind. We remove the distractions. We set them aside, and we concentrate on the present moment as it is. And once we establish that equilibrium, we can then carve out that intention as specific as we want it to be. As specific as we can get it to be, right? Because we want it to be super specific. And once we establish that with that clarity of mind, we then begin to visualize it and experience it. And we just sit in that high vibrational state. Because in conjunction with visualizing, you want to bring yourself to a high vibrational state. You want to raise your energy to a place of acceptance, love, and gratitude. When we're not there, I have absolutely been there. I have gone through chapters in my life, even with a steady practice, I have gone through chapters in my life where I vibrated pretty low and I complained a lot. I would have this like victim mentality, like of course this would happen to me, or like, I would vibrate low because I'm human, just like you and I, just like you. So we are the same in that way. And with a formal practice like this, raising your vibration, it's like working out. You have to practice, and the more you practice it, you get stronger. So in conjunction to visualizing what we want to manifest, we also want to bring our energy to a high vibrational state. When we're in this place, when we're functioning at a high level of vibration, we can witness these meaningful coincidences. We can continuously build our energy higher and higher through gratitude. I have, like, for example, right now I'm looking out my window and there's a beautiful, gorgeous, like peach and pink and light purple sunset sky happening in the middle of December. So I'm like really, really excited to have this conversation, and something like that for me is so meaningful, and it keeps me at a high vibrational state so that I can continuously flow and attract what I want to manifest. I want to manifest this community, and I want to manifest a business where people find a little peace of mind. And something like this brings me joy, reminds me that I'm on the right path in my own way, right? So you will have that experience of your own with that manifestation meditation practice. After this episode, there will be a meditation that you can use in your practice to manifest. Okay, now for targeting your intention. We have so much we want to manifest. I know that I do, but we can only do so much, and we can only expect so much to change in a period of time. So next year, I would look at your chart to see where Aries is. And I would highlight Aries primarily because we have Saturn moving in there. Not just these outer generational planets. I would concentrate on Saturn moving into your Aries chart, because that will be the part of your chart where structure begins to come to play. I would also look at Jupiter, where Cancer and Leo are in your chart. Next year, half of the year, Jupiter is in its favorite sign of Cancer, so it's doing really well to support our Cancer part of our astrology chart. And then it's going to shift into Leo for the second half of the year. And that will be a different energy shift as well, but I'll get into that in another episode. But that's also another social planet, just like Saturn. So I would pay attention to your Aries house and your Cancer and Leo house. That's just my advice. You don't have to, but that's my professional advice for this vision board that you're creating for 2026. Using myself an example, I'm moving, so for me, Cancer and Leo will activate in my home life. And I've already created my vision board. I won't show it, and that's another thing that I will get into. I won't show it because I want to keep that intention and that visualization for myself. I don't want, if you show it to people, you're starting to bring chefs into the kitchen, and we don't need more than one chef. Okay. All right. So, outside of the astrology, we can just talk about your intention. You don't even have to bring in the astrology element, but I like to give that to you because what happens above happens below. But I digress. So to target your intention, Ask yourself, journal, what do you want to feel in 2026? What do you want to feel? And then ask yourself, what part of yourself is emerging? What part of yourself, that's that Aries, is emerging? Saturn and Neptune have spent so much time in Pisces, which is at the very end of the zodiac sign, closing out chapters. I know that 2025 was the year of the snake, and snakes shed their whole skin and just, move forward with a new layer of skin, fresh. So wrapping up 2025, I want you to think about what you have shedded. It could be more than one thing. And then follow that up with what has emerged from what has shedded. And one last question. What part of your life is ready for a new story? So what do you want to feel? What part of yourself has emerged? And what part of your life is ready for a new story? You can categorize the intention. You can get really specific with the sentences, writing it out. And intentions are powerful. So the clearer you are, the more strength there is behind that intention. All right, guys. So the next phase of creating your vision board and experiencing this whole phenomenon of manifesting what you want into your life is putting it all together. So the material that you can use could actually be physical material, getting magazines, putting them on a poster board. The vision board that I have, I got a 12 by 18 frame from Walmart, and I used the mat that was already included and just put a layer of paper over it, and then added my cutouts to it. And so I have it framed. It looks nice in my office, but you can use a poster board. You can use whatever you'd like. You can also use a digital board. I've had 2 virtual vision boards that I've built on Canva. So that's also another option. I would be very intentional about the images and the letters and the colors that you choose. With the colors, I would reference the chakras, the root all the way up to the crown. Every chakra represents an experience of our life. So I would reference that, and I'll try to include a link in the description for you to refer to as to what you want to call in. Words, I would keep it limited to 1 to 5 words, maybe a sentence. One that has stuck with me since I created it 10 years ago is I am here. Simple as that, I am here. So you can create something like that, something short and sweet, or a 2-sentence mantra. You could use stickers, you could use shapes, you could use symbolism. So I'll just give you one little takeaway from my vision board this year. With my home life, I put the moon on my board, and the moon represents the home in astrology. So that was a symbol for me. Otherwise, you don't need anything fancy. You just need those concentration visuals that remind you of that intention that you set out, that very specific intention. So I brought elements of what I want to attract into my home, and that feels full and complete. Keep it simple so that when you look at it, it doesn't look overwhelming. And have fun with it. It'll come from your heart. I held a workshop recently, and I saw so many boards with elements to it that it blew my mind that we all got together, and in this set of magazines, we all found what we needed. So you are going to find what you need for your vision board, and I think that it will turn out better than you can imagine. All right, the last thing with this is that you have to trust the universe. Once you complete your board, and through the guided meditation, we will set that intention where we release and surrender to the universe and trust. So in that, you also have to apply this into your actions, into your daily activity. So I am actively looking and meditating on areas that I want to live, what I want to call in for my property. I'm actually looking. So you have to actually do the action. And with Saturn in Aries, I think that you'll have that drive and that push, whether you like it or not. But just a reminder, you don't just set a wish and then hope it happens. You have to be part of the experience. It's a relationship between you and the universe. Sorry about the frame change, but my battery died and I only have a few minutes. So ways to activate that action is, and to not like stress yourself out, because this should be a fun experience. It should not feel like work or like it's affecting your peace of mind. Just give yourself one action a week, something light, something lighthearted that you know you can manage to do within that week. And as you develop that into your weekly routine, add something else that supports that intention and that vision, and just keep that up. And eventually you will see that everything will start to line up together, and before you know it, what you wanted to manifest is already here in front of you. You're already living it. Another way to support the experience is by journaling those synchronicities, journaling those moments where you know the universe or God or like whatever it is that you believe in. Journal those moments where you feel that connection, that your dreams are being supported. That's my favorite part. So I got this quote online: you don't manifest by accident, you manifest by alignment. So aligning your actions to your dreams, before you know it, voila. So thank you for tuning in. I hope that you've enjoyed this and that your vision board comes out to be better than you have imagined it. I can't wait to hear what 2026 has in store for you. But stay tuned for the meditation to follow for manifesting your dreams. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys next time.